Okay, so how do we get from this dirty, nasty, ugly rim to cleaned up, purty, primered, to damn, that looks good. I'm going to walk you through the secrets. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's not that hard, y'all. The worst part about it is your arms get tired. It's just over with. But it's not that bad. You only got 4 to do. Tools required. Drill, wire brush. That's to get the sticky stuff off the backside from the weights. I use impact with a sanding disc with a twist lock. You don't have to. You can go ahead and use just regular sandpaper. But that's to break the edges off, like scratches and things like that. We'll go in and we'll fine mark them, clean them up a little bit. Just see, little stuff like this. I'll insert a video and show you how to do that. Clean it all up. Scraper, that's just to break the weights off the backside. A little goof off, just to get the sticky stuff off. That's a twist lock that was on there, and I've been using it to kind of get the heavy stuff off, but nothing major. You need an etching primer. Etching primer is made for aluminum and all other metals. What it does is it etches into the metal with an acid base and helps stick to the metal. Not only does it help stick, but we're going to go in with Scotch-Brite abrasive pads, whatever you want to call these, and we're going to clean them all up and scrub them on down. See how it gives it that matte finish? It's not so glossy. That's because we've got fine scratches on the surface. Those fine scratches are going to allow this paint to really give somewhere to adhere to. And then later, I'm going to show you that once you spray your primer on, I'm going to show you a little hillbilly trick, a little redneck trick, whatever you want to call it. Basically, take it in the house, put it in the oven, bake it at 170 degrees for about an hour. That really bakes that paint on there. It really cleans it up, kind of helps seal it in. And then we're going to go back, y'all, with our high performance wheel paint from Duplicolor, spray her down. Other things you're going to need: acetone. You must wipe everything down. You cannot have any grease. You cannot have anything on these things. If you wipe your face and then you put your thumb right there and then you spray it, that paint will peel sooner. That paint will orange peel. That paint will do something that's not correct and you don't want it. We're going for a nice, even, consistent coat. Now that's just coat 1. I just wanted to show you all the progression of how it works and how to do it, what it looks like. So, like I always say, follow me up. Y'all get to see some cool stuff. Mad Coat Fab. First thing y'all want to do is get your hands on some Scotch-Brite. Scotch pads, scuffing pads, whatever. P360, that's it's coarseness, or however you want to say that. This is just for cleaning up things, y'all. They sell them AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advanced, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. Sometimes you get big pads, sometimes you get little. I don't need this big of a pad, so I'm gonna rip her in half and then probably rip her in half again. There we go. So, like I was telling you, 90% of this is prep work. You want to get in there and get everything good. See how it cleans that up, scratches it, scuffs it? What's happening is, on a micro level, I'm putting small surface scratches on that paint instead of it being a smooth surface. Now that paint that I'm going to spray has somewhere to adhere to, something to grab onto. And another thing that this is doing is it's going through and getting all the debris, all the dirt, all the grime off of there. I mean, you can see it even, the aluminum machined surface, it gives it that cleaned up, scuffed look. Like I said, this is gonna give that paint somewhere to grab onto. Not only that, we're cleaning it and getting rid of micro abrasion surface, or micro screw ups, things that have happened to it in the past. Have gotten hit wherever. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but like right here, see that mark? I mean, it gets in there, it gets it out of the way, it cleans it up. But like I told you, a good paint job, 90% of it's prep work. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna just scrub every single part of these rims and get them all clean and pretty. Make them look good. Get them ready, and then I'll be right back and I'll show you what I've done. We're gonna do this in a couple processes. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through, scuff them all up, and then I'll show you all how to wipe them down. We'll go through and kind of detail, see if there's any spots we missed, wipe them down again, inside, outside, really, really clean, and start spraying them. Now, an important factor or something that'll help you is make sure you guys wash these and clean your rims before you even start this process. I was at work, I brought these from work, so I dumped them in the parts washer and cleaned them up. So I had a little bit of a head start, but obviously wash, rinse, scuff, acetone, wash, rinse, scuff, acetone, rub. We'll go through the rest of it. So one of the things you want to do is go through your rims and look for heavy abrasion marks. Places like curb rash, places that have been ran up against curbs, chewed up, run flat spots. I've got a couple marks right here. I really don't know what them are from, but you can see them. They're pretty deep. Like I said, I have no idea what they're from. There's a mark right here. And you can do this by hand. You guys know how I am. I'm not doing it by hand. I'll do it with a power tool. I have the tools accessible. But sandpaper, start off with your heavy grit, work yourself to your fine grit. I wouldn't go any lighter or any heavier of a grit than probably, I don't know, maybe a 600. I'd keep it pretty fine. What we need to do is we just kind of need to knock that top end down, break that edge off so it's not visible no more, and then blend it all in. Use your hand to feel and see if you've dug into it. You can also put something flat across it. You want to make sure that you have not made a big dip, because you'll see that in your paint, especially a black paint. It'll be very, very noticeable. And if you can see that little mark right there, we'll break the edge off that little mark. I mean, I am barely touching this thing. This one right here. Get you a little closer view of this one. This one right here. Do the same thing. Kind of blend it in. Like it never existed. So prep work. You gotta constantly just be cleaning it up and getting it ready. Breaking the edge off, cleaning it up. All little score marks. If you did any sanding to clean up an edge like we just did, you gotta blend that back in. Otherwise you'll have what's called a paint ridge, and that'll give you the ability to notice. Did I set it like a retard? It'll give you the chance to notice that there's an edge. It'll give you the ability to notice an edge in the paint where the new and the old bond together. Now, here's the problems at. See where they put them sticky weights on? That could probably stay there. A little bit of goof off. Pre-soak it. Give it some time to sit. Give it a little bit of time to sit there. Wire brush it off. Okay, so this is my rag. It's covered in acetone. This is a must-have step. Acetone will clean off any grease, any oil, any residue. I like to take both hands and kind of just dip both hands in it really quick. That way I don't have any oil on my hands as I'm touching anything. Ask any painter in the world, face oil alone on your hands can cause paint to orange peel, cause paint to flake. It can go bad quick. And it's one of those things you got to go back and you got to redo the whole damn thing. This sucks. I did a fuel tank one time for one of the motorcycles that I built. And I'm not playing, you guys. I swear to you this is true. I did the fuel tank 7 or 8 times. And I was on the verge of giving up and just not doing it anymore. And on the 9th time, it finally looked decent enough that I could wet sand it out and make it happy. And I ended up finding out later that that paint had been recalled. Manufacturer recalled due to something they had added to it. I had a hell of a time getting it to kind of thin up and do what it was supposed to do. I believe that 9th time what I ended up doing is bringing the shop. It was our other shop that we had at our old house. I brought the shop temperature up to like I think it was like 90 or 100 degrees in the shop, and then I sprayed it so that paint basically had no time to do anything but dry. And that's how I got around the orange peeling effect that I had. Primer coat. You don't have to go for full coverage. I actually recommend trying not to go for full coverage. You should have a spray, something like that, on your first coat. Give it 5-10 minutes to tack up, and then come back. I lay a little bit thicker line down. The reason I am laying a little bit thicker line down, and I will show you here in a second. The reason I'm going to lay down a thicker line is I'm going to put these in the oven at 170 degrees. I'm going to bake this paint on here. Normally it takes paint, 2-3 days to really go through a setting process and get itself tacked up and really set. It might be dry to the touch, but it has not gone through its enameling process. It has not gone and set itself all the way up yet. That's why 3 days later, you can still put nail marks in it. You can still put fingerprints down on them. And if your paint's really thick, it'll take days, and I mean damn days, for it to set up properly. I've done fuel tanks on motorcycles, guys, with spray paint. I know there's plenty of people out there going to bitch complain that back in the day, all I could afford was spray paint, you guys. That's all I could do. I've painted cars with spray paint. I've painted motorcycles with spray paint. Nice, good coverage. Look at that. No runs, no drips, no sags. Let's go play in the oven. All right. This is the one. It's straight out of my oven. I mean, she's warm. I'm not pressing really hard. Just going through, cleaning the surface up, knocking off all the little debris, little bullshit that flew up while we were painting it. Kind of getting it cleaned up a little bit. And if you were here, you'd be able to feel the difference. So like here and here, where I've gone through the Scotch-Brite, is a lot smoother now. I've knocked off all the little debris, all the bullshit. Help clean it up. But like I said, I'm not pressing hard. I'm not going crazy. I'm not trying to rub the damn paint off. I just want it to be clean. Yes, today is Thanksgiving. And yes, normal people have turkeys in their ovens. But normal people also have their families all together on Thanksgiving. I got wife at work. My wife is at work, so we are having our Thanksgiving tomorrow. Really, really lightly with your rag that you have acetone on, hit it really lightly. And do not soak that rag down before you go to hit it with your coat or with acetone. If you soak this rag with acetone and then try to wipe this fresh primer, you're gonna start wiping it off and it's gonna give you ugly, ugly ass looks. You wanna shake the crap out of these things. You don't know how long they've been sitting on that shelf. You don't know how long it's been since the manufacturer made them. So take these cans and just shake the holy crap out of them. That's all you need to do. I'm gonna get a good coat on here and it's gonna go right back in the oven. You can see I have one sitting here. This one just came out. She's still warm to the touch. I ran her at 170 degrees for like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I kind of forgot this one was in there for a little bit. I got occupied doing something else for a second or two. And I know the lighting in my kitchen is shit. But 170 degrees for like an hour, I baked that paint on. Here's the one from inside the house. I brought it outside so y'all could get a better look at it. I mean, I haven't buffed it yet. I haven't done nothing else to it other than pop it out of the oven. See how that oven helps that paint spread here, do everything it needs to do. I mean, look at that glaze look. It's amazing. Okay, what I'm hoping to catch here is, do you see the difference in the two? See how this one's got like a brushed chrome look to it, and this one's just a dirty chrome? This one I've hit with the scouring pad so much that I've just put billions of little surface scratches all over it, and that's what you want. That gives that paint something to grab onto, stick to, hold it on there. That'll help ensure a little bit longer life, the paint sticking to a chromed out piece, like a bumper or whatever, where if you were to just spray it like this, it'll be off in no time because it has nothing to stick to. It's just a smooth surface. So on a microscopic level, this right here has got tons of little scratches on it that paint can adhere to and help it out. Now, things like I was showing you all, you know, spots where that chrome's starting to peel because it's just an overlaid object. There's nothing we can do about that. But we can do our best by just cleaning the crap out of them, really making them look good as far as cleanliness, and hit them with a scouring pad and clean them all up. That's just what you got to do. And then hit them with a good etching primer. That etching primer will etch into that or eat into that chrome finish, helping that paint stick All right, we're on to these center caps. Now, I've already scrubbed the crap out of them with a scouring pad, SOS, or not SOS, but scuffing pad, Scotch-Brite, whatever you want to call it. I've already done that. I put them on this piece of steel. The reason they're on this piece of steel is so I can get them in and out of the oven, you guys. These ones you're going to want to watch while they're in the oven. Check on them every couple minutes because they're plastic. Plastic has a melting temperature, and depending on the kind of plastic, the compound of the plastic, and how the plastic was made, that melting temperature can be low and or high. I'm not like ABE. I can't sit here and tell you what their compounds are. Another thing, these are going to be a little bit trickier to paint. So I'm going to stay further away, give myself, 10, 15 inches. The reason being, I want that paint to fall down on top of it. Now, one could take their time and build something to hold these up for them. It would be all right, but because I'm transferring them to the oven and they can't just sit on my workbench for days, they have to go back tomorrow. Because of that, it's like, I can't really let them just sit here and tack and do what they normally do. Not to mention I wouldn't anyway. It's too damn cold outside. I mean, it's nice out for Thanksgiving Day. It's nice as hell outside. The kids are out running around right now. But it's too cold to rely on spray paint to do what spray paint does. So, as you can see, them look good, don't they? Not bad. So the last one's sitting now on the cooling rack next to the oven right now. It wasn't completely cool, but they're not perfect. Of course not. But look, they look good. They definitely look good for used rims that were spray painted. And then, as you can see, it's smooth. Now, if I didn't have to take them back to my customer, I'm getting ready to load them in the truck. If I didn't have to take them back to the customer, what I would be doing if they were my rims and I had more time, they have to go back on the vehicle tomorrow, which is going to be risky as hell because that paint hasn't had time to set. But if they were mine, what I would do is buff the piss out of them. Buff them and buff them and buff them and buff them. I'd buff them so much they'd look perfect. They'd be shiny. They'd be just all uniform and ready to go. And then stuff would just run off of them. Brake dust and stuff would wipe right off of them. I'd also ceramic coat them. And the center caps are in the oven right now. But like I said, I got to load them up. I got to get them back. And one more thing I want to show everybody. Look, got everything cleaned up. Those are going to get wall mounted over there over top of the freezer. Those jack stands are. But we got everything kind of finished today. Everything cleaned up. Put like it should be. There's just small stuff like I got to still route some plugs. Route some holes for some plugs. Some electricity issues. The doggy's corner is perfect. It fits both of them just fine. This is all returned to Lowe's except for this. But as you can see, we got the garage back to the way it should be, and it is absolutely beautiful. So much to be thankful for, you all. So much to be thankful for. And that's really what it is if you keep your mind right, work hard, do what you're supposed to, you get to have a little fun in your life. So, from Madco Fabs to you all, happy Thanksgiving, and you know what I'm going to tell you. There ain't nothing to it but to do it. Do it right the first damn time. Every time. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.